Hello and welcome to the Hellraiser blog. Today's Hellraiser blog going to talk about what I've just watched, George Groves against Callum Smith and Chris Eubank Jr. versus, was it JJ McDonough or Paddy McDonough? I think it's JJ McDonough. Okay, so George Groves, I thought it was really a bit surreal, the whole thing. I mean, the arena, I guess they haven't got the passion that you would get if the whole crowd was full of people that actually knew George Groves or knew Callum Smith, because those people really they engage and they get stuck in and they sort of really cheer the guys on. Whereas there it looked like full enough, the venue, but they didn't really, the supporters, the fans didn't seem to have that that sort of passion for the fighters themselves. I thought Smith boxed very well, and as soon as he hurt Groves, he got him out of there. Groves, to me, I mean, he did actually, he threw some half-decent punches, but he just didn't really seem to have that commitment to it. I don't know if mentally, if he was like totally right for the fight, or if he was just for whatever reason not focusing like he normally does. In a way, I thought it was a little bit anticlimactic because I've really enjoyed that tournament, the World Super Series of Boxing, both at super middle and at cruiserweight, and would have been nice to have an absolute humdinger of a fight to finish it off. I really did think it was a difficult one to predict what would happen. I mean, Groves coming off a serious shoulder injury definitely put me off having any sort of involvement betting wise. There were so many permutations that I found difficult to predict or to work out before they went in. But I think the long and short of it is you've got to take your hat off to Callum Smith, because he delivered when it mattered and got the result, and he's won the tournament. And he actually looked very good. And if he boxes like that, I mean, you've got to say he's going to be a big draw. I think his problem has been for his career that he's been quite hot and cold, and I think he technically he decides almost sometimes, this is a fight I'm just going to win, not exactly win boring, but I'm just going to make sure I win it, whether I'm exciting or not. And other times he seems to really get stuck in. Well, tonight he started off cagey enough, and then before you knew it, he was sort of letting go of some really big shots. Caught George Groves and finished the fight early. So well done him. Anyway, the other fight, but before they got in there, I thought, you know what, this McDonough, he might cause Chris Eubank Jr. some problems. And actually, second round, I'd probably give it to McDonough. He did cause Chris Eubank Jr. some problems. The ending was bizarre. I mean, first there's like a knockdown in the first round. It's like a left hook that just catches McDonough on the top of the head, and McDonough goes down. And sometimes you see guys go down like that and they don't get up. I mean, it looked innocuous enough at first, but then the way that he sort of stretched himself out on the canvas like that was almost comical. You're sort of thinking, what's he doing? But the punch did catch him quite hard on the top of the head. The second round, McDonough then comes right back into it. I'd have given him that round. And that's what I thought before they went in. I thought, look, he's a bigger guy, he's a southpaw, he's very awkward, he's strong, he's going to cause Eubanks a lot of problems with his slickness. I thought that potentially, that could be a real banana skin for Eubanks. But they went back at the, I mean, it didn't even look like he was in trouble at the end of the third round. Eubank definitely bossed the third round significantly. I thought Eubanks won the first, lost the second, won the third very well. And I was thinking, okay, well, McDonough needs to really come back with something bigger, because he was a bit of a bullying round, the third round. Anyway, he didn't come out for the fourth, so that was the end of that. I've seen a load of stuff on social media claiming that it's a fixed fight and that it was all set up and whatever, so not really any comment on that. I thought, it would have been nice to see a more sort of, I suppose, something a bit more conclusive to end the fight. But it was a good fight for Eubank to get him back in. Now where he goes from here, it sets him up nicely for something. I don't know what, maybe a fight with James DeGale. That'd be very interesting, I think, a fight with James DeGale. And DeGale's had a bit of a rough patch, but came back very well in his last fight. I would imagine that's almost odds on to happen, because I think you've got DeGale, who basically needs a big fight. You've got George Groves coming off a defeat like that. I mean, where's he going to go? Be interesting to see. I mean, George has had a fairly long career now. He's not exactly an old guy, but he's had a long career. And he looked old in there tonight. He didn't look like he had that much ambition in him, or is it mentally he was struggling to and he's had some hard fights through his life, George, and I think the way he boxed tonight, he didn't really fight like a hungry fighter. He looked like he was sort of going through the motions a little bit, and he did let go with some shots, but not enough intent maybe behind them for it to work out for him. Anyway, I'd like George, one of my, known him since he's very young, George at Dale Youth in Holland Park in West London. But tonight that looked like that might be the end of him, I think. And he's had a great career, he's had a fantastic career, so there's no shame in that. Just a sorry way to finish it off if that is him done. I guess the fight I think most people will want to see there first will be Eubank versus James DeGale. But look, I've got my Darryl Williams, my super middleweight that I've been managing. He's fighting for the British title next. If Darryl won that, I'd love to put Darryl in with either Eubank or with James DeGale, or any of them in that mix. They would be massive fights for us to make. Let's see. Keep my fingers crossed, please. Keep your fingers crossed for me too on that score. Okay, guys. Well, anyway, that was tonight's boxing. Just thought I'd have a quick mini blog to sort of run through it and share my thoughts with you. If you enjoyed it, press subscribe. I'll see you soon. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.